Congratulations once again for tuning into Tuesday Training with Coach Korn, where we are talking about Monday morning choices with David Cottrell. And we're taking a chapter each week and just analyzing that chapter and figuring out how we can put this into our daily lives and into our business. So, we've talked about the no victim choice in chapter 1. How you doing on not being a victim? Have you made the choice each week to not be a victim? Don't let anybody else ruin your day. It's all up to you, and all you have to do is make the no victim choice and try and work towards that every week. You know, another thing I was going to talk about on the no victim choice, have you ever seen the movie The Secret? And if you go to thesecret.tv, I think is what it is, the website, it talks in there about if you are a victim and you take on that victim mentality, you actually bring more negative energy to your life. So think about that the next time you're taking that victim attitude. Another thing that we talked about was commitment. You know, are you willing to do the things that the average person is not willing to do to be successful? So if you made that commitment to really accomplish your goals and stay focused and do whatever it takes. So then today what we're going to talk about is the values choice. That means every Monday when you start out the week, you're going to make the choice to stay with your values. The values choice. Choose the right enemies. You know, after a big promotion, isn't it funny, if you haven't experienced that, when you do achieve a big promotion or anything like that, you feel like you lose some of your friends. And I'm not talking about like your best friends, but when you achieve a certain level of success, or you're the top agent in your office or whatever in your industry, the people that you like and you see and you can joke around with, sometimes you'll lose some of those friends because there's just something about the jealousy factor, or that maybe you just do things better than they do. You don't have to give up your values when you reach those positions. You have values, and you need to hold true to those values. And the fact that this chapter, what it talked about in the book mostly, is the fact that if you have strong values, no matter how successful you get, you are going to have enemies. You're never going to be able to make everybody happy. So what you need to do is just hold firm to your values and keep doing what it takes to be successful. We talked about in the last chapter about your commitment to do what it takes that an average person is not willing to do to be successful. Well, your values are going to take you there, and so you need to stay true to your values and just understand that you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. In the book, Rudy had warned Jackson that as soon as he got promoted, that he would make some enemies in the office, and Jackson didn't believe him, but it only took 6 weeks for Jackson to realize who supported him and who was against him. You know, I've got a real world example of exactly what I'm talking about with the enemy thing. In my industry, in my office that I used to work in, as we were working our way up to be the #1 agent in the office, that was the goal. You always want to be the top or be the best, or at least most people do. When you're committed to success and you're committed to providing your family a good life and all that stuff, you go to work every day and you try and do your absolute best. Well, it's real funny because in this office, we had some dominant #1 real estate agents, and I hadn't been in the industry very long at all when I moved here. I'd only been in 3 years in the real estate industry. Well, it was probably about 7 years in that I became #1 in our office, top sales, real estate salesperson. And there was one particular agent that, man, we just had so much fun for a couple years, 2-3 years, just razzing each other. I used to tell her all the time, hey, I'm going to nip on your heels, and you better get to going selling some houses because I'm catching up. And it used to be so much fun for us to razz each other. And you know what's so amazing is, just like the book says, you're going to have enemies whether you want them or not. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy. And I don't know if it was jealousy. I don't know if it was because of, I did the job better or what. This person, as soon as we got #1, we hardly ever talked ever again. Not at least in a jokingly manner or anything like that. It was just more like in the halls, working together, that kind of stuff. You could always tell that that was a person that I recognized And I know the word enemy sounds strong, but it's somebody who does not have the same values that you have. They do not have the same goals that you have, or the fact that they would let that bother them so much that they wouldn't want to interfere with that relationship. So it just didn't match where we were. It's not a question of whether or not you're going to have enemies. You are going to have enemies. And what others think about you shouldn't pull you off track or shouldn't make you second guess your values. Stay true to your values and stay on track and stay focused on your goal. As we work and become successful, it's natural to want others to like us. It's natural when we succeed that our friends like us, that our managers like us, that our family likes us. However, you're not going to please everyone. So at some point, you're going to need to decide, who am I going to please and who am I not going to worry about? Those are the things that you need to work on. And in the story, or in our book club, we talked about the story in the book where David Cottrell worked for FedEx and how he was offered a promotion to move his family 600 miles north of where he currently lived. Well, he had a really strong value test right there. It was a promotion at work that he'd worked hard for, but his family was very anchored in school, local in the community, very, very active in the community, and he had to make a decision about who his enemies were going to be. Because, if he didn't take the job, his managers were going to feel really bad about the whole deal. But if he did take the job, his family would be real upset with him. So he had to decide, who would he rather have as an enemy, his boss or his family, who he lives with every day. Well, David chose not to make the move. He turned the position down. So those are the things, the tests and trials that we're going to be faced with in our lives. So the important thing you need to realize, you're never going to make everybody happy, and you need to stay focused on your goals.
The 3 things that you can do to make the values choice. Number 1, surround yourself with people of like values. Number 2, take time to identify who your enemies are. And if they're an enemy because of something you've done, then address it and take care of it. If they're an enemy because of jealousy or because you do your job better, then just deal with it. You're going to have enemies. You're not going to make everybody happy. And that's the 3rd one. You're never going to be able to please everyone all the time. So the Monday morning discussion questions that you want to ask yourself. Number 1, why does success create enemies? Number 2, describe what values you have that are negotiable at work and at home. And number 3, is it possible for your enemies to make us stronger and better? And I think when you understand who an enemy is and how they work, I think that's true, or at least it has been in my life. So that is Chapter 3, The Values Choice, from David Cottrell on Monday Morning Choices. I congratulate you for making the choice to tune in to Tuesday morning trainings with Coach Korn. And next week, we will be taking on the next chapter, which is the integrity choice. So I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope everything's going well. I hope you're doing the choosing to be a no victim. I hope you're choosing the commitment choice every week and now adding the value choice to your week. Let us know how it's going at Coach Korn at sbcglobal.net, or jump online at www.coachkorn.com, and you can keep track of the book, the videos, and upcoming assignments and homework. Good luck, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Hey, this is Coach Korn. I just wanted to say one quick special thank you to my Monday Morning Choices Book Club at the Keller Williams Eastland Partners Real Estate Office in Greater Kansas City, where we take a chapter every Monday morning at 9 a.m. and discuss the materials. That's how I bring you Tuesday trainings, where we are covering Monday Morning Choices with David Cottrell. Thanks, guys.